Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, I guess. We're a little late this morning, this afternoon. Okay. It is June 18th. It is Thursday, and I am here in the room known as Smokey's office. Even though it hasn't been Smokey's office for a while, I don't think she really comes in here much at all. It also hasn't been Acro's office for a while. I guess it should be known as my office. Anyway, we're starting out this morning with the gifts that are Gabby's 3 kittens that are still here. This one is Blarney. They're all 3 girls. Hi, Blarney. Taking a nap. They were just watching me. So I got up real late this morning, which is good. I finally got some extra sleep in. I slept in. It was good. And then after that, I went and I took care of some email and some other stuff too. So we're really late on the close-up stream. I did see someone ask, is there something wrong with the Kitten Academy live stream? No, there's not. Everything is fine. YouTube did reset it again. So if you can't find it, take a search for it, the Kitten Academy live stream. It's there. It's working just great. At least it was right before we started this one. It should still be working great. And if you ever have trouble finding it, take a look on our website, kitten.academy. There's always a link from there, or do another search and go to our channel. YouTube's been having a lot of little issues lately. They say it's because they're short of staff due to recent events, which is fine. I can completely excuse that. So there you have it. Now, we're trying out some different things, technically speaking, on the Kitten Academy live stream. I'm trying to sort of work around the issues that YouTube is having, and that means that there may be a couple more glitches than we're used to over the next day or two while we sort out the changes that we're making. But hopefully there won't be much issues. I don't think that's anything really to worry about, probably. Also, I'm making some network changes here that can have some impact on that. I know I mentioned that before. I'm hoping I finally get to that part today because yesterday I finished cleaning all the rugs. I guess I'm not done cleaning yet, though. There's always more to do. Anyway, my point being, Kitten Academy live stream is working, and if there's a couple little issues here and there, I hope you can bear with us. If there's big issues, let us know and we'll try to take care of it as quickly as we possibly can. This one obviously is Banter. And this one is Scuttlebutt. They all spent the night with access to the entire house, and they didn't really take too much advantage of it. They mostly hung out in the bedroom with me, which was fun. And they had a good time. They actually got to hang out a lot with the faculty. The faculty has all been very supportive of them. In fact, actually a couple of them, it wasn't just Scuttlebutt. I think it was Scuttlebutt and Banter. Both tried to nurse on Logan, but they weren't successful in finding nipples to nurse on, I guess. They were a little disappointed. But he put up with it very well. It was cute, and there's a tiny video of that on our Twitter. I took more video than what I posted, so maybe I'll make it into something. I keep saying that, and I keep having no time. I'm telling you guys, I've just been swamped, and I apologize for that. I really want to get more done for you, but I'm playing catch-up after the delivery of Bebop's kittens. So I'm still in catch-up mode. I still have a lot of things to catch up on before we're just back to normal. But we'll get there. Well, those are some cute sleepy kittens. And I think there's some more if we go on to the room where Bebop is in the annex. We'll try. Thought I was going to get some cute picture of Banter sleeping face down, but then she obviously moved. All right, let's go. Oh, we can peek in at Acro and Ari. As I predicted yesterday, Ari has spent almost all of his time in this room hanging out, and Acro has spent almost all of his time in this room hanging out. And he's very winky right now, but he's doing very well. He's happy, he's talking to us, and he's purring. And he has a bed on a bed. A bed on a bed. I know. Doesn't get more meta than that, does it? Unless we put another bed in there. So he's doing pretty good, though. I'd say, really, he's roughly the same. I'll tell you what was fun is he's been volunteering to spend most of his time in here, but I've taken the food and stuff out of here because it was a little much to manage. And because this door's open, he doesn't need the food in here, so the food's all down in the master bedroom. And every now and then he gets up. Oh, this is gonna. I don't want you guys to have to watch him limping around. It's a little much to take. He does get around fine, but you don't want to see it. Um, anyway, I was just about to say though, he does on a regular basis then get himself up and go all the way down to the master bedroom and have some food, and then he usually comes right back because for some reason he really likes this room. A little bit of a limp there, sorry. So he's enjoying that quite a bit. And then last night, he decided to just join us in the bed, which he does. He likes to have the attention, so he gets up on the master bed in the master bedroom too. And he was all snuggled up with me last night when I woke up in the middle of the night to reset the Kitten Academy live stream. Anyway, so he's going to be all right. To answer questions for people like Leah who are maybe new, we don't know exactly why he's limping. We know he's got a couple of issues that we know about already. He's got a thyroid issue that we've been treating, and it was a little undertreated, but now he's back on track, so that may be a cause of that. That can happen. Hi, Maggie. And now our vet has checked out almost everything else and suspects maybe could be neurologically related too, which could mean, anything nervous system. That doesn't mean a brain problem necessarily. But we have an appointment next Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday, I don't know, next week with the neurologist to check that out. So we're checking on him. But in the meantime, we're treating him, and he's a happy kid. So that's what counts. All right. Oh, sorry about that mess. That's flew from a thing. It's a long story, but I haven't got the vacuum out yet today. That's next after I'm done talking to you guys. So sorry about that little extra mess there, but I just made it, and I will unmake it shortly. Easy for me to say. All right, so here's our mom, Bebop, and you can see she's looking much more svelte, but she's also starting to fill out a little bit. She's a lot less bony than she was, that she has been. Making 7 kittens probably took a lot out of her, but now she's eating great. She's putting on the weight. She's feeling good about herself. And if you didn't see, yesterday she decided to move all of her kittens out of the box. So I rearranged the room. The box was over here, and now we've moved it over here. And last night I tried to get her to bring the kittens back into the box. I thought, well, she likes them over here. The box is over here. Short move. She should be okay with it. She was not okay with it. The very minute that I put the kittens in there and turned my back, she was pulling them back out again. So I guess that's settled. She doesn't want them in the box. I'm not going to try it again. The box is done. In fact, if I have time, one of the things I'm trying to get caught up on is I mentioned to you guys before she delivered her kittens, I was talking about how because she liked to look out the window, I found the perfect little bench to put under the window in here for her and all future mom cats in the annex. And that is pending assembly. It's been in the next room since the day before she delivered her kittens. And it's just the fact that all the kittens got delivered that had put me off of getting that put together and put in here. So my thinking is if she's already given up on the box, maybe I will be able to get it put together and bring it in here, and we'll have some nice little decor for her. And it can go right next, it can go right where the box is now, and her kittens and she can sleep next to it. That's what I'm thinking. And whether I get to it today or not, I don't know. We'll see. Now I see. Oh, that's so cute. They're all just a little bit twitchy. I know she was just nursing them. I was waiting to start the live stream. I didn't want to interrupt them right in the middle of nursing. So they're all just fed and probably having a little milk nap and having little milk dreams. Now that's an eye that's open, which means this is either retro or now we have two kittens with eyes open. I think it must be retro though, because I was checking this morning. Nobody had their eye open. And usually it starts on the inside corner, but that one's open all the way across, so that's got to be retro. Doesn't it? I think it does. Kind of looks like her, but she's got all of her paws hidden, so I can't tell. What was it that he used to say on the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? Milk Dreams just made me think of that, but now I can't remember how he would say it. Wasn't it like, I don't know, champagne dreams and caviar something? Uh, Boy, it's been a long time. That show probably hasn't been on the air in decades. Robin Leach. Yeah, I was going to say Robin, but I couldn't remember if Robin was right or not. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. All right. Well, you guys all know. I couldn't remember. I guess these guys have milk wishes and they probably have caviar dreams. I bet kittens would love caviar. So much twitching going on, and every time I point the camera at one because they're twitching, they stop and somebody else starts. Hard for me to try to make this all, to catch all the action for you guys. Milk bar dreams and snuggle wishes, not bad, Philly Mouse. I can't do a convincing Robin Leach imitation anyway, though, so it's all for naught. Yes, Indy does have a big head. Catherine, I think I don't know exactly when they get their teeth, but I want to say it's closer to 3 weeks. Oh, Magdalena says 3 weeks. Okay, I'll go with that. You see that little tiny paw wave? All right, let's see how many of these kittens I can identify without waking them all up to move them around. Oh, what was that? Roll on your back. So this one looks darker to me than this one, so that makes this one Indy and this one ironic. Then clearly the one with the big collar is vinyl. The one with the eyes open must be retro. So we decided vinyl, Indy, retro, ironic. And that leaves these three. I can see all the white up here means that this one is Vin or vintage or Vinny or Vin. And that leaves these two here as the boy and girl. One is One's Artie and one is Bessie, or Bespoke. Artisanal and Bespoke, or Artie and Bessie. And I've been telling them at a glance by the fact that um, Bessie has bolder stripes and Artie is clearly a little smaller, but Bessie is not. I think this has got to be Bessie, and she's not on her side, so it's hard to tell about her stripes. This has got to be Artie because he's a little smaller, right? I'm just guessing. You know what? I can lift up the tail. I'm going to cheat because I can also tell them apart by checking whether they're boys or girls. Oh, he didn't want to give me a look. You didn't want me to check. All right. Well, we're not going to disturb him too much. One of those is, I think I actually got it backwards. So I think this one is Bessie then, and this one must be Artie. I don't know, one or the other. So let's see if I can go through that again in reverse order. Let's just say this is uh, Vin, vintage. This is Bessie or bespoke, artisanal or arty, ironic, um, retro, vinyl, and indie. Did I get that right? I think I did, or right enough anyway. Weights are great. All of them are putting on weight like crazy. They're getting exactly the kind of weight gains that we would want. Technically, that includes Artie right now is gaining as much as we want. However, it seems to me, at least right now, Artie is only gaining weight when I tube feed him. Now, he maintains that same weight in between feedings, which means he's obviously getting something from mom. But I think all that Artie's getting from mom is enough to maintain. He's not getting enough to gain from mom. So I have to continue his tube feedings to help him to gain weight, which is fine. He's really getting into it. It's become very easy for both of us. He doesn't even struggle anymore most of the time. He's just like, oh yeah, this is how I get fed. I'm into this. It probably feels pretty bad to do still, but I bet it feels good when he's done and he's got a full belly. And so I think he's starting to associate that with the process, and that works out good for him. It also occurred to me that there's another reason for us to like the tube feeding better than the bottle feeding, which is he's not going to become accustomed to nursing on the bottle and then start to prefer that to his mom. He will instead, it's the tube, which is something that he can't use that to sort of replace his instinct with mom, right? Um, because, as I was saying before, it's been my experience that a kitten tends to choose one or the other and then has a lot of resistance towards whichever one is the opposite. So if they're really used to nursing on mom, they'll strongly resist taking the bottle. And if they're really used to taking the bottle, they'll strongly resist nursing on mom. So the fact, I think maybe the tube feeding also helps us subvert that and not have to worry so much about uh, whether he's going to eat on his own. So I think it's all good, and it's been going really well. And like I said, it's just getting easier for both of us. It's getting easier for me, and it's getting easier for him. Now, I know people are going to wonder why Artie needs this and why he's not gaining the same way the others are. I don't know. I don't know the reason now. And what I can tell you is I know some things that it's not. Things that I've checked. For instance, I obviously checked to see if maybe he's got like a cleft palate, which would explain why he can take the tube and eat just fine from the tube, but not so well, not getting as much as he would want from mom. If he had a cleft palate, you'd be like, that makes good sense. And that's a common thing that we check for in kittens. And it's not the case here. His little palate looks great. So that little tiny bleb. That's retro again. She's got her eyes closed now, but that's still her. So silly. What is it, retro? What is it? I want to touch it. I really want to. Oh, oh, I missed. Oh no, now she's mad at me because she bumped her nose on my finger. She twitched right when I was reaching in there. Maybe I touched her whisker. So I saw somebody just now say they wish Bebop and Artie would be closer, and that reminded me of a couple things that I should say. First off, I should say I don't think they can be any closer. She loves Artie just like any of her kittens. She's certainly not denying him any nipples or nursing time. So that's also something that's clearly not the cause of Artie's sort of lack of gains, because she treats him just like all the other kittens. Now, that does lead into a couple things that are interesting, I think, really interesting topics that I don't know all the answers about. First off, Artie is by far the smallest kitten right now. He weighs a full ounce less than the next biggest kitten and 2 ounces less than the biggest kittens, and that's a significant difference at this age and this size because he's a little over 5 ounces, so weighing 2 ounces left that's less is almost half his weight bigger again is the biggest kitten. Does that make sense to you? You take Artie, the biggest kitten is almost half his weight again, or picture like I'm not a 200-pound guy anymore, but I recently was. So just picture a 200-pound guy. That would be like me trying to compete for a nipple with a guy that was 300 pounds. And I think he's going to win, just on the weight alone. So I do think that's probably a factor is once he starts to fall behind in that sense, it's sort of self-perpetuating, right? So that's why we got to keep an extra eye out for him. It does make sense, right? Karate Joe, wow. Hey, that's good thinking. I just finished talking about that. he, he does not have a cleft palate. Anyway, so to carry on, my point is though that once something like this starts, it can sort of take on a life of its own just based on the fact that he fell behind a little bit. Then he can fall behind even more. Somebody's always in last place, and sometimes they just end up there for a second, and then they got to run twice as hard to catch up. It's just a tricky situation. That's just the way nature is. That it applies to so many things in life. If you just get behind a little bit, there's so many things that can conspire to make sure that you stay behind. So I think he's fighting that, and fortunately, he's got us on his side to help him make sure that he does get all the extra food that he needs to continue that. And like I said, his gains are great. His gains in the last day were spectacular, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't expect those gains to continue. Now, the other thing that I was going to mention is something that I have been, I've heard a lot. I always thought people were just sort of joking around. I thought it was sort of a common joke to make. People would say that the kittens have a favorite nipple. And you hear it a lot when you see the kittens fighting at the nipples. That you hear people say, "Oh, they're fighting over their favorite one. They've got to have it." And I always just took it as a plain old joke that everybody liked to make. Well, obviously, kittens aren't going to have a favorite nipple. They just fight. That's what they do. I still think that's true, by the way, to a certain degree. I do think that they're just going to fight anyway. It's what they do. But I give a little bit more weight to the idea of the favorite nipple theory anyway. And I don't know if it is that fact that they have a favorite or if there's another factor involved. But I will tell you that I have really started to notice with this class of seven that they end up lined up at mom more or less the same way every time. Now, there's a lot of variation. Again, I don't think that they really know one from the next, but I do think they might know something like being up close to mom's head versus being, way far away, or up close to, her back end, I guess. I do think something like that could be it because I do notice that Artie is very consistently towards the head end of her. That's the end that he seems to like. He wants to be up front by mom's face when he nurses. And again, this could just be observation bias or confirmation bias, or it could be any. It's not a scientific study yet, but I do think it's an interesting question, and it's interesting to observe and wonder um, if there's something that the kittens do sort of gravitate towards when it comes to nursing. Um, my point being that yeah, if you're familiar with basically any kind of mammal that has kittens or dogs or probably I'm just assuming others too. The when the nursing up front is those are usually the least productive. Um, so that could, if he really just has a strong preference for always nursing on the front ones, that also could account for some of the difference. That could be what's setting him behind, is that the places where he likes to nurse are the places where there's the least milk available. Maybe. Again, I don't think any of this is 100% the reason, but I do think that maybe they could all be factors that work together. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. Again, I do think it's really interesting to observe the situation and to speculate on these things. But it's also real easy to come up with theories and really hard to come up with definitive tests that would help prove which theory is correct. So I try not to do that. Um, I'll stop at speculation and with a big disclaimer that it's just speculation. I have no idea what the facts are, and certainly no idea how, if we wanted to prove what the facts are, how we would do that. It's tricky. Anyway, I'm glad that you guys gave me the chance to discuss that though, and to say some of that because it is something that I wonder quite a bit. All right. Well, hey, we have gone on long enough on this close up. Um, Safari Kitty, good question. I think I sort of obliquely addressed that, but the question is, have any other kittens' eyes opened yet? And the answer is no. If you see any that look like they are open right now, it is still just an illusion. I've been looking at them very close, and so far, only retro has even started. Like, for instance, you might be watching vinyl here in the background and see that looks like the tiny start of an open eye, but I don't think it is. Let's take a close-up look at vinyl as an example. No, just shadows, I think. I tell you what, I'm going to look even closer than the camera. Hang on. Oh, okay. I might be wrong. There might be the tiniest. Now I got to take my glasses off and look really close. Hang on. Let's look really, really close. I'm just going to point the camera over here for a second while I look really, really close at vinyl. There is the tiniest. Oh, I was wrong. Let's see. I don't know if I can get this on the camera, but just the tiniest. See how it starts as just the tiniest little thing in the corner. It's always the inside corner. Oh, okay. Like now, there, you can see it on that one a little bit. There, just like that. Do you see that? That's a very close up. So that's how it starts, and it's usually like that for a whole day before they open all the way. So I would say by tomorrow we might expect to see a little bit more of an eye open from vinyl at least. So now I'm going to have to check all the others again. Of course, Retro was way ahead and has hers all the way open. They're all piling up together. Anyway, I was just about to wrap up. I should also mention that because this is the space that mom has decided to choose for her kittens, I've redirected the air conditioning to not be blowing directly on this spot, which it was before, and I put a heat pad underneath this, so it's not very warm. It's not very warm at all. It's just barely warm enough to make sure that they stay comfy when mom's away. So I think that's working out pretty good. And we're taking good care of them. And right now, like I said, the box is here, and I've cut a big hole in the side of the box so we can just use the box camera pointed out through the giant hole to see them. And it's working. But one of the things I'd like to try to get done today is to make all that a little better. And like I said, maybe bring that bench in here. We're working on all that stuff. And we'll see whether I get any of that done before tomorrow. I don't know, but I'll tell you, sleeping in a little bit last night sure felt good. I could use another night of that. So we'll see how it works out. I saw somebody saying how cute the kittens were in the natural light this morning. It is great light in here, but that reminds me that there is a certain period of time for about an hour or two in the evening when the light is shining directly on this spot from the window, and it comes in at such an angle that even if I close the curtains, the light still hits the kittens, more or less. There's a spot like right about here that's all lit up, and a spot where they are right now. I think they would be out of the light actually. And we had a whole bunch of people yesterday that were concerned about whether the light would be too much for their little eyes or whether they would get sunburnt or anything like that. I'll tell you, I'm not concerned about it. I think that probably just as a guess. Now, this isn't again not something that I would rely on. My guess though is that probably hundreds of thousands of years of kitten evolution have dealt with the fact that they probably are exposed to a lot of sun when they're kittens, naturally speaking. But I don't think that's a good argument for anything. I just want to say that in case it helps anybody sort of deal with the thought. What I will say is that I do believe in an abundance of caution. So yesterday I did try to move them out of the direct sunlight just to be a little extra safe. And we'll find a longer term solution for that in the longer term. But if they get a little bit of sun, I'm not going to panic. And if they're going to be in it for a while, I'll come in here and move them around a bit. That's really all I think we have to do. Also, I should point out it's not impossible to get a sunburn through a glass window, but the glass window blocks the vast majority of that stuff. So I really not in the amount of time that they're exposed to the sun in this spot, I wouldn't worry about that part at all. So there you have it. All right. One more time, the Kitten Academy live stream, the URL changed again. So definitely, though, if you want to keep watching these kittens, just do a search for the Kitten Academy live stream, which reminds me, one last thing. I watch the Kitten Academy live stream myself on our TVs all day long. Obviously, I do, so I can keep an eye on the kittens when I'm going around the house. I just look up at one of the TVs, and there they are. And I've noticed that at least for our Android TV, when the stream changes, it can very deceptively take me to the old stream. And the way that I notice that is the time on the stream is completely wrong. And it just happens at first. And then I search for Kitten Academy live stream, and then I find it, and then I go to it, and then I'm on the current right now stream, and then it's not a problem again. So just a note to anybody, check it out. If you do it, if you watch like I do, and things seem strange because you thought you saw that before, or it seems like the wrong time of day, just check. Maybe it is the wrong time of day. Maybe you need to search for the Kitten Academy live stream and find the actual current one. Finally, I also should say I did reach out to YouTube about it to see if they can solve it on their end, and we're working on that. So definitely something that I'm talking to them about now. We're in discussions and see if we can find a way to keep the trouble from happening again. The whole point is, if you want to watch these kittens, though, look for the Kitten Academy live stream right here on YouTube. They're on it. It's on now. You can watch them. Please do. I'm way over time. Thank you guys all so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate all of you. I really do. And I will try to tell you more about that tomorrow when I'm not running way over the time limit. So thanks one more time. And we will see you for another close-up tomorrow.